Little Miss Recap contains adult language and is intended for entertainment purposes only. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Little Miss Recap, the podcast where you get one ultimatum.
And you just use it up.
Wow.
How is right.
Woof. This guy's a problem.
This is real problematic this week. Just when you think he can't get worse, he gets worse, guys.
I have several examples in my notes of bad parenting.
I know.
Of blurred boundaries.
It's bad. It's a fucking shit show, if we're being honest.
And
it's a real shit show.
At this point, we need to begin hashtag save Galyna. Galyna?
Mm-hmm.
Galyna. We need to save her from herself and from him.
No. Why? Why is she? Why is she so complicit in this? I don't understand. I want to talk to her.
We need
Galyna,
if
you're listening,
give her some therapy. Woof. Get her.
Slide into my DMs, Galyna.
Could you imagine what Dr. Orner would do with these two?
Oh my goodness.
Jeez.
He would hate her so much.
Because she has met her share of narcissists.
Oh, she has.
And we saw season 2, I believe, a masterclass of shutting one down.
Oh, that was freaking great.
Yep.
God, I love that show.
I do too. Listen, guys, Steph and I have talked about it. We're going to be taking a small hiatus from Virgin River. Mm-hmm. So what I'm thinking we should do while we're pausing Virgin River, after we finish season 1, we're just going to wait a little bit before going to season 2, is do 2 episodes of this a week to catch up.
We can do that.
Because I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Oh, I love it too.
Yeah. Yep. And I think, I just it's so hard for me to not go ahead.
Oh, it's real hard.
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree.
The next couple weeks, if we do 2 each week.
Okay.
We'll get to that juicy 9 and 10.
Gosh, do you think there's going to be another one? I keep Googling every day.
Okay. So I did send Steph a text last night that Kala and Junior have their own podcast.
I know.
Number 1, how dare you? Number 2, I'm totally listening to it, but not until we're done.
Yeah, and it's really hard because I want to know all of the things, and I'm so curious to see what their relationship is really like.
Yeah, I feel like they have a good relationship.
I do too. That's
I'm going to eat these words in 2 episodes.
I know. We definitely are, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I do kind of want to know what the dynamic is like. I just really want to know if there's any bit of him that's like that dad.
Here's what I think. I think she is his ticket out of this.
Definitely.
And she is the outsider, right? She's the one saying, your dad's a problem. This is a problem. But she could save him from this.
Do you think he wants an out? I don't.
I don't think he is aware that he needs an out.
Needs an out. I know. Mm-hmm. That's what
he
I was thinking too.
He does. I'm not saying, look, this is a way of life for many people. This generational farm thing. And I'm not saying that is a problem.
No.
It's the dad.
It's the dad. 100% it's the dad.
He can still work on the farm, but he needs to not live there. And he needs to have real strong boundaries with this dad.
I don't think this dad has ever been given a boundary or respected a boundary. Nope. So I can't imagine a world in which that actually works out for him. I can't.
Right. And I was just telling Stephanie today, this month marks my 6th year in therapy with Janet.
Our Jan.
And if there's one thing I learned from Janet, it's if somebody is irrationally angry, it's because they're not happy with the boundary that you've put down. So if he were to put down boundaries, Dad would react like a petulant child.
Yes, completely. Mm-hmm. I don't even think that's a question.
Yep. Are we ready? Do we want to go down this road?
I'm ready. Let's go. Okay. Buckle up, bitches.
We're talking McBee Dynasty Season 1, Episode 4, An Ultimatum. Okay. We pick up on Galyna and Dad having that real tough talk about the Escalade.
It's bad. You know what? I felt so seen watching her just be so angry. Like, you could tell she was shaking inside. She was so filled with rage.
I
And
have a
I
question
was
for you.
for her.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
She knew about Brooke the whole time, right?
Yeah, I think she did.
Okay. All right.
Because she may. Okay, well, I won't go ahead.
I think having come from, we talk about this often on this podcast, a grandfather who had multiple families, my grandmother knew, but there was plausible deniability.
This is wild to believe, but I get it. It's true. Yeah, I know that it is.
She cannot deny this anymore. It's right in front of her face. So her whole vehicle's being destroyed, and she says the man who was there told her there was a black-haired female with tattoos all over her, dropping off and picking stuff up. He says,
"Oh, that's the
you're
worst.
right. I was just trying to help somebody out." And she goes, "You were taking care of your whore." Whoa. I've realized how much I work Bob Durst into all of my impressions now.
Yeah, you are. You definitely are. I do want to say, though, she did. I totally just lost what I was going to say.
I'm sorry, that was my fault because I started doing the Bob Durst.
It's okay.
So maybe if I go through it, you'll remember. Yep. So she says, "You were taking care of your whore." And then she goes, "Were you together? Did you sleep with her?" And he says, "I'm not together with anybody."
I know.
Sir.
It's so bad. Sir, you're the biggest liar that's ever walked the planet.
When we talk about gaslighting, and I know that term is overused, this is a good example of this because his actions and everything else is saying the opposite of what he is saying. So he is gaslighting her by saying, "I don't know what you're talking about. We're not in a relationship."
Yes.
But you're acting and living like you're in a relationship.
Exactly. And what I was going to say that just came to me again is that at one point she says something to the effect of like, "Could you have disrespected me anymore? Or could you show me any more disrespect?" And that's exactly like, that's it. Does he think of anyone but himself? This man thinks of no one but himself. And I have a real fucking problem with him playing like savior to Brooke. Oh, she's a single mom. She's in a hard time. Like, I understand that. But what I can't figure out about Dad is how he seems to have empathy only for certain individuals. Like,
right, because Galyna's a single mother too.
Thank you. That's exactly my point.
Yep.
But was that the situation when he started banging her? Did he feel bad for? Because we know that he's been banging her for quite some time, like a month after they met, and it's been like 7 years or something. So I hate him too.
So she says, "I wish your sons would never put a woman in a situation like this." And he says, "Well, remove your fucking self from it then."
I know. Oh my God.
Oof. Okay. I hate him, but he's not wrong here.
He's not wrong.
This is what you're getting with him. This is what you're getting from him. He's telling you who he is. This is me. You're going to have to leave.
He is, but it's so hard to see. Why?
I know.
Why is it so hard to watch?
Why?
I know. So, I have all the questions. I'm like a toddler, but why?
No, this is Ace and Caitlin. They became obsessed with Natalia Grace.
Oh, yes.
When Natalia Grace would just go, "Why?"
I remember why. Why did she do that? That was so fucking weird. And I'm doing it too.
I know. So
Natalia.
He says, "I'm sorry. I should not have done that."
Oh.
Okay. He gets up and leaves.
Sorry.
No, he's not sorry. He's sorry he got caught. He's sorry he got caught. She tells the camera, "For the first time, I've reached my limits." Now, she calls Steven Jr. No.
This is tough. And I have been in this situation.
I have too.
I have been Steven Jr. And this is a horrible place
I've been Galyna.
I've been both. Oh, I've been both of these people.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
That's hard. It's so fucked up, though. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But having been on both sides of this and looking at it as like an outsider, I can see how fucked up it is. But I also know how easy it is to fucking slide into something like that when you just need somebody to take your side. Oh, it's hard.
So she calls Junior, and she had texted him pictures of the car, and he's like, "Oh my God." And she says, This was so, Junior tells the camera, this was so dumb. Why did my dad do this? Galyna says to Junior, I kind of appreciate this energy. I'm getting a fucking truck and I'm going to drop that Escalade off on her front porch with a bill for the total. And she better get a job because she's going to have to pay for it. And Stephen Jr. says, you should throw my dad in that car and drop him off as well.
I couldn't believe he said that.
He tells the camera,
I loved it, but
I know. He tells the camera, growing up, I was the mediator between my parents, and it has somehow transferred to Galyna and my dad, and I'm tired. He says, I can't take my dad's side every time. And she apologizes for venting to him. Now, I want to say two things here.
Okay.
One is, I have been her. Okay. When my first husband cheated on me and we were breaking up, I was very close to his family.
I know.
And I would call them and vent to him. And I've learned two lessons from this. Number one, they're always going to side with him. Always. Blood is thicker than water. We all learn that lesson at some point. Yes. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I've done for them. It doesn't matter. They will side with him. And I get it. I get it too. I get it. Number two, she thinks that Junior can change him. He can't.
I know.
He can't. So I'm sorry. I'm on like a soapbox about this.
No,
but
because
it's such a bad example of boundaries being blurred.
It's a bad example of all things. It's a bad example of humaning. It's a bad example of parenting. It's a bad example of being in a relationship. It's a bad example of being in a business partnership. The whole fucking thing is wrong. Right. It's wrong in any which way you spin it.
Because that's another thing. These two are business associates.
And clearly, whatever he's doing with her, he's using her.
And there's a reason that she calls his son. This was my other point. There was a reason I was going to my ex-husband's family about him and not my family. Because I knew what my family would say.
Exactly. Get the fuck out of there.
Right. She can't take this to a friend or a girlfriend because they're going to be like, okay, you're done, right?
Right. Well, right. Because that would be like the Amy or the Stephanie on the other end of the line being like, okay, and
you're done.
How many times are we going to let this happen? Exactly.
Yep.
I hate it for her because I do think she's not a bad person.
I do. I like her a lot. I like her a lot. I like all the women on the show. There's not one. I even like Brooke, and we'll get to that. I don't think Brooke is the problem here.
But no, I don't think Brooke is the problem. But I have a problem with Brooke, and we'll get to it.
I mean, of course. But I'm just saying, like, I don't hate her like I hate this dude.
Oh, no. I don't think I hate anyone like I hate this dude.
He's a problem. So Tessa now finds Jesse, and she's like, oh, my God, did you hear what happened? And she's, like, shooing the cameras away. You're mic'd up, first of all. But she's shooing the cameras around. She's like, oh, my God. And Cole is... Cole now we see playing pool with a bro. And they're talking about this. Everybody's scuttlebutting about it, right? And bro says, you're just like your dad, dude. And Cole's like, no, I'm not, because I'm not dumb. You made out with a woman on television.
You're the dumbest fuck I've ever seen on my television, sir.
You literally made out with several different women and then said you deserve to be king for not banging them. Knowing your girlfriend's going to see this.
Hashtag never forget. We saw this. Another thing. I have to say it, and I just have to say it. It's not nice. You're going to hate me.
Okay.
Backdoor friends might come for me. I can't stop looking at his mouth.
Whose mouth?
Cole's.
Oh, why? What's wrong with his mouth?
It feels like it's too small and he has no upper lip. So I always feel like he's like he can't open his mouth big when he talks.
Does he have a dip of chewing, maybe?
No, I don't think it's that. I mean, I really think it's just the way that he was made.
The way he's baked. It came out the
kind of like I was made with this big fucking Polish schnoz hanging off my face.
I didn't even register his mouth. I'll have to look next time.
And I hate myself for it. I know that I hate myself for it. And I hate that I even had to bring it up. But I had to tell somebody because no one else in my real life is watching this.
I get it.
And every time I see him, I just want to punch him in his open mouth.
I mean, he's problematic, but he's reenacting what he saw growing up.
He is, but there's something about him that I kind of hate a little bit more than I hate the dad.
Oh, I disagree. I think he's a victim of the dad.
He is, and that's why I'm a terrible person for hating him more.
He's seeing this is masculinity to me. This is what is being modeled as being a man.
Certainly.
And I need to be a man, so I need to act like my dad.
I know. It's terrible, though.
It's bad. So Junior and Dad, and let me just be clear. There is a point where you're old enough to know better.
Yes. Okay. One would hope.
I grew up with a lot of friends who had really terrible upbringings.
Me too.
And many of them, hit a point where they were like, okay, I can see what this is. Like you reach a point when whether you're 30 or 40, Cole will get there. He's just, I don't know. Right now, he's in his 20s. He's modeling what he knows.
I don't think he's going to get there. I don't think the emotional intelligence is there.
Maybe not.
And I think some people, it's unfortunate because I love for him to turn yes, of course. And like to turn around and be a better person. But I don't know, dude, there's something about him that I just don't think it's ever going to click. I think he's too far gone. I really do. Maybe. I really do. And I hate saying that because he's a young man.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of times when there's that kind of household. So my dad only has one brother. And they both grew up seeing the behavior of my grandfather. And my dad, let's just say my dad and my uncle took that in very different directions.
Correct.
So I think it depends on age. It depends on, you know what I mean? Like my dad was the older brother and he saw what was going on.
So it's funny because I can sort of tie that to my own upbringing a bit. I mean, I'm one of 6 and there's one or two. We'll stick with one in my family.
The trauma just hits differently.
That the trauma has hit differently. And this particular sibling of mine never grew up and continues to make bad decisions and do the wrong thing, like repeatedly. Right. Not a bad person, but makes bad decisions. And we can't figure it out. I don't understand why. But this is a classic example too of like, I just don't like it's just too far gone.
Yeah.
It's just too far gone. I hate it. I hate saying that, but that's just,
he could be.
He could be. I'm sure if Jan's listening,
she's would not
completely say
when I talk about things to Janet, she I'll be like MILF Manor or blah, blah, blah. She has no clue.
No. And of course she doesn't, but I'm just saying listening. In the event that Jan's listening, she would not agree with me. Everyone can be saved if they want to be saved. I'm just saying, I don't think he does. That's all.
What could happen to Cole down the road is he could meet a woman who's not going to put up with this shit. That would be the best thing for him.
Correct, but it would have to be a woman that he respects in some way. And right now, he doesn't respect women.
No, he doesn't. And that makes me look at the mother.
I know. That's why I need eyes on this mother. I need eyes on the mom.
So Junior and Dad now have a chat. Again, blurring these boundaries. Bad parenting.
Always.
Junior now has to be worried about his job and the family's livelihood because his dad can't keep his dick in his pants. Could you imagine?
I can't. I really can't. And the fact, actually I can, because this is kind of similar to how I grew up with my own mother. Like not with the dad. My dad wasn't this way, but my mom was. It's not a secret. I mean,
yeah.
My mom is on her 5th husband, but this is kind of how I grew up, and I get it. But
you knew somewhere in you knew you would grow up and escape that environment.
Yes.
Imagine if your future that you always thought you would have was tied to your mother.
I can't. Like
if she ran the company that you were going to work for,
completely that's exactly my point though. I get it. It's fucked up.
There's so much enmeshment. So much enmeshment.
The fucked up thing is I can hate this guy as much as I want to, but he wasn't given a fucking chance. He has no fucking chance. Look at what's parenting him. It's sad. It's sad as fuck.
I need Steve McBee, the father.
I know.
In front of me in a therapist chair. And I need to go into what was your childhood like?
Yes. Yes.
So Dad calls Brooke now. And she's in a different car. So she must have got her car back.
Yeah, that didn't take long.
And he says, I have some bad news for you. Galyna's pissed off and might do something. I don't know. She could be delivering the Escalade to your house. I don't know what's happening.
But like, here's a question that I have too. Why on God's earth? I don't believe in God. Why would I say that? That was stupid. Why on the earth, in any form of whatever you believe in, would he have given her Galyna's car? Why wouldn't he? He's got money. Why wouldn't he have just rented her a car? It's not. It doesn't cost much to rent a fucking car.
Because
I don't understand.
Because he's got to be the big shot who owns all these cars. The car's got to come from. He's got to be a big shot. It's all about ego. He drives a fucking Porsche and then tells us in the next breath that they are minutes away from losing everything.
He does.
It's all about image. It's all about he's got to be the big man, the savior.
But you don't think there isn't anything about being the big man, just going and showing up with a rented car for you?
I think he's like, oh, let me grab one of the Escalades in my fleet and give them to you. It's more that kind of thing.
Okay, yep. I understand. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
So Brooke says, let me get my script.
Oh, here we go.
I am sorry that this is causing turmoil in your business. Okay, Brooke.
Yeah, come on, dude. This is where I started to have a problem with Brooke.
He says, she's real upset that you were driving. And it's kind of a shit show over here. So I can't see you tonight. Can't see you. And then I wrote, okay, because he makes a comment here. Well, he makes comments throughout the entire series about how he doesn't want a relationship. Gee, I kind of feel like not being in a relationship is a lot more complicated than actually just being in
one, right? I don't get it.
Like, also, look at Jesse, who's in a decent relationship. He's not having these problems.
Not like this, no. But like, here's the thing. Does Brooke thinks they're in a relationship? Galyna thinks they're in a relationship. I mean, Brooke said to her girlfriend, like, well, he is my boyfriend. He's the person that I go to. Like,
I'm going to tell you, this guy, I'm on a tear about him.
I am too. I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry. I keep stopping you.
I could be way off. And if any backdoor friends are listening who have any kind of mental health training, please weigh in on what's going on here. But this is the kind of guy who he is a toddler. You cannot tell me what to do. You cannot tell me what to do.
How about
I will do my own thing?
How about when he told Galyna that this was her only ultimatum or whatever, and then he says something like, and you might have it in your notes.
We'll get there.
Okay, I'm seeing this. Okay, sorry.
No, we're not nearly there yet.
Okay.
Hey everyone, stay tuned. Little Miss Recap will be right back after these words. So it's morning and there's some kind of meeting. And Dad's going, oh, we're doing soybeans on 26,000 acres and corn 12,000. And we're doing really well. Oh, and my dick may have sabotaged the future of the entire business. Just a quick FYI. Not sure what's going to happen. Also, hasn't rained in a while. We need it to. So that's the business meeting.
The rain thing really was upsetting because that made me feel bad for them. Like, that's a hard life. That's a hard life.
When you're dependent on the weather.
Yeah. I mean, farming's hard.
Especially now because the weather's so unpredictable.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, global warming isn't real though.
This Jake character is trolling Cole. And saying, you're not following your goals for the year, Cole. What's going on? You wanted to work out, to wake up earlier, not being a douchebag. You're not hitting any of these.
That was freaking hilarious.
Cole's like, whatever. So Cole, Jesse, and Jake are out at the bean fields. They're doing math that I don't understand, real quick and real impressive.
They were counting seeds.
The stalks,
That was insane to me.
It was insane how quick he was doing that.
Yeah.
It leads them to the conclusion that they need rain, like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're in Kansas City. Galyna's driving like a souped up Jeep, and it's beautiful.
It is.
And they're like, oh, wow, where's the Jeep? She's like, don't ask. Don't ask where my Escalade is. Steve and his whore wrecked it.
Oh,
so
Galyna.
They're scouting a new location for their car wash, and she says it's a groundbreaking, and I'm not missing it. Now, we have this little scene with Brooke and her friend Amanda. Okay.
Yeah.
She fills Amanda in on the Cadillac, and Amanda's like, but it was an accident.
Accident.
You're missing the point here, girl.
No, come on.
Nope.
Exactly.
You're missing the point.
Exactly. This is where I start to have a problem with Brooke, though, because it drives me crazy when you can't put yourself in someone else's shoes. Like, there's no, like, two things can be true. Galyna can be a pain in the ass, but she's also a human being and a woman that's also being fucked around by this douchebag.
Right.
It just drove me crazy to see them talk shit about her because
I
it's
agree
not right.
with you, but I also think she is getting only information from him. And he is probably making Galyna sound like she is Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction.
I have no doubt that that's what he's doing. Yep. It just drives me crazy that a woman, like, I guess I don't know. I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Me too.
And I just feel like they're just shitting all over Galyna like she's some kind of monster. And I think it's fucked up.
Yeah. And this is going to get dark. He's probably telling Brooke, I would not put this past him. He's probably telling Brooke, Galyna has threatened to tank my business. That's why I'm with her. Oh,
absolutely.
I have no choice.
Because exactly. Because whenever the conversation is on Galyna, it always reverts back to the business. He's fucking using her.
So Brooke is like, I feel bad because my boyfriend was my go-to and he helped me. And Steve, now this is a violation of trust. Steve sent her the screenshot of the text messages with Galyna.
That's terrible.
I hope Galyna, we don't know what's going to happen here. I hope Galyna sees this and breaks up with him and takes him for everything he has.
I do too. Galyna, slide into my DMs.
I would sue him. I would fucking sue him.
I know.
I really would. I would sue him for like, I don't know, something. Lawyers, come at me. What can we sue him for?
So that's the thing too. Like, can Galyna, lawyer, do we have any lawyers in the group? Can she take legal action against Brooke for taking her car?
I think so.
But then
Shubnam's a lawyer. Shubnam, tell us.
Tell us
what
please.
Can happen here.
Yes. And then I wonder, is the car in her name or is it in his name? Does he hold that over her?
Probably in his.
Yeah, see?
But she could probably, again, I'm talking out my ass. I have a poetry degree. Okay.
I don't have a degree. So
I would think she could probably fight for the valuation of her 10%. That it should be more.
Okay.
I wonder about that. I wonder what sign though. We don't know what sign.
I don't know.
All right. So Brooke says, he has told me he doesn't want to be with Galyna. And Amanda goes, do we know if he's telling her that?
Yeah.
And Brooke says,
voice of fucking reason.
Good question. I've never thought of it before. If he's hiding you, he's not honest.
Exactly. Also, do you think he ever told Brooke he didn't want to be in a relationship? Because I don't.
He's into Brooke.
He is into Brooke.
And Brooke's hot. I get it.
Oh, I don't think
Galyna's hot too.
Yes. That's what I was going to say. Not that I don't think Brooke is hot. I don't think Brooke is any hotter than Galyna is what I'm saying. Because this dickbag has made
Brooke's
comments.
Brooke's my type. Slightly troubled.
I know.
She would roll around in the dirt with you.
Yeah. But he has made comments that
Brooke is his girlfriend.
Brooke is so hot. I'm so turned on by her. You look so good. Like he's obsessed with her physically.
Yes. And the fact that she needs him. He has to have that savior complex.
It's so fucked
It's gross.
up.
So 22 days without rain. Oh, I just had this thought.
Ooh.
He meets Galyna, right?
Okay.
She's presumably a business person. He brings her into the company. She doesn't need him. She's in almost an equal position
Place
as
of
him,
power.
right? So how does he get her down to the point where she needs him? He starts fucking her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
Yep.
Oh, well, we just solved that.
Solved it.
Nice talking, everybody.
Now we have this stock car race. Okay. And this is so great because the boys show up. And like I have said all along, these boys were a menace to this town.
I know.
They're walking in. People are like, fuck you, McBee.
And I loved it so much.
We finally see Braden. We see him a little bit, and his girlfriend is there, and her name is also Allie.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
confusing for somebody like me that never remembers names, so didn't appreciate that.
Now I have another theory, and I could be way off, and people who know this are like, she's talking out her ass, so please correct me. Okay. Junior says, people in this town are really pissed that we bought up some land, and they say things like, you bought my granddaddy's farm, even though it was for sale and anyone could have bought it. I have a theory.
Okay.
I bet you they grabbed a lot of this shit in foreclosure at an auction.
Oh, I have no doubt.
And that breeds contempt and resentment.
Yeah.
It really does.
I can see that.
And I'm not saying that's right. It's an emotional, it's an emotional feeling.
Response.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's not, it's, if you're buying a property at auction, you're not responsible for how the person feels. But some people see it as predatory, as, you're taking something that we lost.
I fucking hate the fact that our families, like the lake house, sold a couple of years ago and somebody else is living there now. Like I hate those people and I don't even know them. And we didn't lose it. Like it wasn't a situation like that. It was
so
just,
imagine if
people died and it had to get sold. So
like, imagine if you lost it in foreclosure, like you owned it and you lost it. And then somebody came in and bought it and they were douchebags.
And I could totally see that. Totally see that.
So Dad says, I don't get it. I was born in Missouri. I was raised here, but I wasn't raised in Gallatin. And that's why people hate me. That's not why people hate you, dude. Just a FYI.
But I do understand that mentality is a very big thing in our area.
It is.
Like, think of the town that my husband comes from.
Yep.
Very, very small town. Everybody knows everybody. We have been together for 15 years or something ridiculous. And we'll run into people that we have spent time with before who will still introduce themselves to me like it's the first time we're meeting. And it's like, no, it's not. And it's not. You're just being a fucking asshole. Like
I deal with this shit with my kids, dude, because we live in an area like that. And like my kids go to a school, I kid you not, where the parents of one of their friends are the high school head cheerleader and the high school head football person are married to each other.
Oh my God.
And still hang out with all their same friends from high school and go on vacation, stuff like that. And if you're still friends with people from high school, that's great. But don't make it inaccessible to new people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I have the problem.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I'm 40 years old and it still happens to me. 44, actually. But you know what I'm saying.
Dad says, now I don't know if you caught this, they can't even sit out in the crowd. They have to watch from a hut. And Dad's leaving. The team loses and Dad's leaving. And he says to Junior, see you later, bro. Bro.
I did.
Bro. That's the problem. Right there. Right there.
Not your bro, dude.
Not your bro. Nope.
Holy hell.
23 years, listen to me, 23 days without rain, not 23 years. That would be the Dust Bowl. So at Steve's house, things are tense at the dad's house. Okay. Things are tense.
Things are tense.
He thinks he's Kevin Costner and he's sitting in front of the fireplace pouring himself a drink. No, sir. You are not John Dutt.
You are not. This isn't the ranch.
It's not the ranch. He pours himself a drink. Galyna pulls up. She walks in. She stares a hole through him.
I know.
They sit down and Galyna says, now here's where we learn what his story was. She says, I am not buying your story that you had a relationship with this girl over a year ago and she called you out of the blue and you helped her. Gross, dude. If you're going to be, here's my thing with him, okay? If you're going to be man enough to walk around and say, I'm not committing to anybody, you don't own me, then you need to be man enough to admit what you're doing and not lie.
That's exactly the that's exactly the problem here. If he would just be who he is, without then that would be one thing. But that's not what he's done. Like that's not what he's doing. He's still controlling people. He's controlling these women.
He's acting like he's in a relationship.
Right.
Yes.
It's so messed up.
If he's not in a relationship with Galyna, he didn't have to lie to her about this.
Exactly.
But he like like this idea of this masculinity, if it fits him when it does, and you know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's convenient
So
for him when he needs it.
what's wild to me too, though, is that he talks a lot about how, maybe not a lot, but he talked about how women like to control men and with their
Mhm.
ultimatums. And I'm like,
Mhm.
what the fuck do you think you're doing, sir?
Exactly. He's
Like,
controlling the whole
it's
situation.
yeah.
Yep.
It's so bad. It's so bad. But I
So
can't
she
stop watching
goes,
it.
"Please tell me, are you seeing her?" And he goes, "Blink, blink, 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 blink," like a Danielle Davis waiting for the camera to get over to you. And then he goes, "Yeah, I've been out with her." Galyna says, "Do you want me to resign?" Now, this is a problem with Galyna.
Mhm.
She goes right to that.
Mhm.
So she's
I
also complicit in tying this to the
yeah.
business.
Yep.
He says, "Of course not. This has nothing to do with work." He says, "I understand and respect what you're saying." And she goes, "It is her or I. There is no other way. Her or I." He goes, "Nothing has to be repeated. I understood the first time.
Uh-huh.
That's the one ultimatum you will ever get from me. I will eat grass." What's wrong with eating grass, dude?
I
A
don't know,
lot of
dogs
people eat
do it.
grass. I don't know.
Mm.
My dog eats shit. That's been in the grass. He says, "No one is ever going to give me an ultimatum." And then he storms out of his own house.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
He's disgusting. He
Yeah.
actually makes my fucking skin crawl.
Now we got more worrying about the rain. Then it starts raining. Everybody's happy. Cole
Mhm.
says farming is such a mental game. You get up, you have to keep grinding. Jesse says, "Yeah, Dad told us to be tough."
Mm.
Cole says, "Dad and Galyna, this is a nightmare. They need to deal with this relationship or break up." And Jesse and Cole both agree that Galyna needs to find a nice man to marry. I can't imagine a world
Uh,
in which I would say my father's wife deserves better than him.
right?
That
It's
is so weird.
wild.
So it tells us everything we need
It
to know.
does, but it also tells us that they are in a fucking relationship. The
Yeah.
kids know that they're in, like, the kids see her as, like, I don't want to call her a stepmother because that could
No.
be
Mm-mm.
disrespect. I don't mean it like that, but like they do see
They
her
see
as
her.
his partner, like his
They do.
other
They
half.
don't see her as a mother because of the
Right.
weird boundaries, but they
Mhm.
do see her as his partner. You are correct.
Mhm. Yeah.
So Dad is heading to meet Galyna now. He again calls Junior to vent about this, and Junior tells us that Dad is pretty much a nightmare. And Dad
How
is like, "Galyna is such an integral part of my life and my business." And then I wrote, "Oh wait, he's meeting Brooke. I didn't
Mhm.
know. I thought he was meeting Galyna."
I know it was I didn't that
He
was
did a little
messed up.
trickery.
Mhm.
Mhm.
What did you think about
Brooke wearing
how
a full leather outfit in the
yeah,
middle of the
in the
park in the
middle
middle of the
yeah, that
day?
was fucking weird, but
Okay.
whatever. I'm talking about how adorable was it, and this I don't say this often about these boys because most of them irritate me, but how adorable was it when they were talking about making a little dating profile for Galyna? Like,
Stephen
that was
Jr. can
cute.
get it.
I know.
Oh,
So hard. I
wow.
just thought there was something endearing, though, about how they were being a little bit protective of her. I
I agree.
appreciated it.
I agree. So he sees Brooke and immediately he's like, "Oh my God, you look so hot. You look so hot. Let me
I
rub up against
know.
you."
And that's why I'm like, okay, she's an attractive woman. Of course she is. But I mean,
Yep.
she looks just like every other ordinary lady that I
She's
like.
hot. She tells him, "We
I
can't be
know.
together anymore."
Uh-huh.
She says, "You're amazing. And I'm proud of everything you and your son's built up. And I'm
I
sorry
know.
if I affected that." And she's like, "I just feel so bad that I've put you in this position." She's
She's
apologizing to him.
apologizing. Can can we can we be any more of a victim here?
Then she
Like,
says, "I know Galyna has a stranglehold on you.
mhm.
And I give her credit for being a boss babe, but I've overlooked so many red flags. And you know what? I deserve better. I deserve somebody who's not going to hide me." Then she gives him an anniversary gift, and it's a matching copper bracelet. She says, "Thank you for all the big things you did for me. And I hope these little things I've done for you helped." He has given this woman a lot of money.
Mhm.
And I have a theory.
Definitely.
I have a theory. They're not breaking up. This is
I
all
don't
for
think
show.
they are
All
either.
for
Yeah,
show.
definitely.
Because he says, "If you ever want to use the Nashville house with your buds, call me." So they were supposed to go to Nashville together next week. Guess what? He's still
He's
going.
still going. I know.
Mhm.
Do you think she goes too? Oh, I gotta watch. Oh, I can't wait to
I
watch.
guarantee you they didn't break up.
I don't think they did
So
either.
he tells the camera, I guess I'm responsible for some of this shit. You think?
Oh, you think, sir? Oh, he's so
Now,
enlightened.
Now we see
God.
this dinner, and Galyna has her revenge dress on.
Woo! Does she
Woo!
ever? She's
Wow.
trying. There's a part of me though that felt a little bit of pity, just because I was like, oh, honey, like you can tell she was trying real hard.
Yeah, you know what was weird to me though? She dresses up like I dress up. Okay, she puts on a smoking hot dress, but her hair's still in a ponytail and she has no makeup on.
Yeah, I was thinking that
I'm
too.
like, what are you doing?
It was
Did
a
you just come
little,
from work?
it's a little
Okay.
weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
The dress
I
didn't seem to
appreciate the energy,
fit.
but
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
of course.
yeah.
It was just funny because after what had just happened, it just appeared that she was trying really hard to be like the sexy girlfriend lady. I don't know.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, agree.
Oh,
Agree.
poor Galyna.
So he tells Galyna that first of all, he goes like this. We have 3 minutes to talk about this.
Okay.
And he tells
Again,
Galyna
in
that
control.
he broke up with Brooke.
I know.
And then production trolls him with a flashback of Brooke breaking up with him.
That was fucking great.
It was great. And then he says, you used your ultimatum up. And she says, it was a choice, not an ultimatum. And he tells the camera, I love Galyna as a human. I mean, she is a super person. I would do anything for her. Fuck off. Now they toast and a bunch of their friends come in. And then, of course, he finds himself in a gaggle of woohoo girls.
Of course.
And he's buying them drinks. And and she's
Galyna's
just sitting
giving
there
the death
staring a
stare.
hole through him. So basically, they end the night together. And he tells the camera, the thing with relationships, friendships who are dating is they think they can change me and they cannot. Yeah. End of episode.
Yeah. However, did you notice though that they would give us little clips in the bar of like Galyna and him like making out on the dance floor? And like they're clearly, this is not being hidden. No. Like this is a very obvious to me that this is a real relationship and he's a fucking piece of crap.
Right. He is doing, some would argue he's doing more work than he would if he was in a relationship.
Yes.
But for him, it's about, I can't let a woman win.
Yeah.
I can't let her win and say we're in a relationship. It's gross.
But it's like, gross. It was really wild to me though, that here they are in this bar though, and they're like slinking up on each other, just like he was with Brooke up against the building, you know, but they're like making out hardcore and she's like, you know, doing the sloppy drunk hang on him thing that we've all done.
Oh yeah. Did it last weekend.
But like, he's not hiding it.
No.
So
no.
What?
He also openly flirts with other women in front of her.
I know, but
it's
I
weird.
Guess what does he want other people to think his relationship with her is then?
I don't know.
Like that's the part that I can't figure out. Like, okay, you don't want to be in a relationship with her. You don't want her to think that you're in a relationship. What is it that you want other people to think if you're doing all of this in public anyway? I don't understand.
One of my favorite podcasters, Aaron, used to say, you see that camera, dude? We see you. We see you.
Exactly.
Like we're watching you. You can tell us anything you want, but you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
You ding dong.
Serious. Oh, he's tough, man.
I just said ding dong.
But I kind of love it.
I love this show.
I know I do too.
This show is great. It's showing us all the problems. And at this point, I'm rooting for all of these boys to get out of this situation.
I am too. And I really feel like Cole's a lost cause.
You know what it is? I feel like with Calla and Steve Jr., Calla is his Monica. If we look at Yellowstone, Monica came and she took Casey away from that toxic shit.
Yes.
And like Casey is so much better for it.
Yes.
He's getting sucked back in, but so much better for it.
Totally.
Look at Jamie and Beth and their lives.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like
show.
Calla is the outside influence here, and she can take Steven Jr. away from this. Whereas Allie, as much as I like her, and what's the other one? Casey. How do I know their fucking names? Like
I know
this?
You do.
Casey is the girlfriend of Cole.
Yep.
Casey and Allie, I like them,
right?
But they're bought into this too. They've bought into this. So,
and I think there's like a naivety. I think that just comes with how young they are.
Yeah, probably.
Right? Like they're young. They're in their early 20s.
Yeah, they're making
Not that
old
Junior is
decisions.
much old. Junior and Calla aren't much older.
Right.
Calla?
Galyna.
But I don't know, man. It's I'm here for it, whatever it is.
Guys,
I'm
we
here.
will be here bringing this to you next week.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. And if you like what you hear, consider supporting the show. You could join Patreon, Supercast, Apple subscriptions. We got a bunch of stuff over there for you. You can also leave us a 5-star review.
5 stars only.
We'd appreciate that. That takes time and effort, and we appreciate it.
Right. And what else you can do is share the pod with a friend.
Yeah, that'd be a great thing to do. Yep.
I do. I share it with everybody.
All right, my friends. Thank you. Steph, thank you.
Thank you, Aim. Thanks for coming in today.
I'm going to let my blood pressure settle.
I know. Me too.
All right, guys. We'll see you soon. Thanks.
Love your bones.